Podcast.
Hello and welcome back to podcast. I'm Idris and with me is
Ayushi, and we are back again in conversation with Mr. Vedavyas.
a very warm
Welcome.
welcome. So today we have chosen a very wonderful topic and it's about you, me and everybody, our viewers. It's all about relationships. But today it's a vast topic of course, but we are going to discuss relationship with our colleagues in the office.
Okay,
Yes. So I don't know how to start. Maybe
it's your topic.
yeah, it's we are colleagues, so
He is
I
feeling
see.
trapped, and now I'm going to support him in this.
no, you can be against me, no problem. We work together, so you can start pointing out all the flaws in me, of course. In
So,
where do I lack?
yeah,
Let's improve.
I'm going to talk in general.
Okay.
Okay. So whenever a person is fighting with their own emotions or own personal things, let that be, it reflects back onto the professional kind of work.
Right.
And when it reflects to the professional work, it starts that negativity or that kind of emotion, it starts spreading in the team because we are working as a whole team.
Right.
And because of that one person, whatever emotion she is carrying or he is carrying, that starts spreading on and
True.
everybody start getting irritated because it's reflecting a professional
True.
work. So how do we deal with that?
So, usually in professional context, there are structures and cultures that are created. Now, every organization has a culture. In work culture, there are certain, in every organization, the kind of support you get, the kind of policies are there regarding respecting each other or what is encouraged, what is discouraged. So that culture defines how we address it. So usually the organization evolves culture, which is usually decided by the leaders of the organization of what their values should be. Okay, and based on that, the values evolve over a period of time from the experience. And these values are again filtered out into standard operating procedures and a lot of other things. So there are structures that are formed, rules are formed, they're trying to make it as conforming as possible to those values and those rules so that everybody follows the same thing. Okay. But as you said, despite doing all of these things, having well-defined roles, still the emotions leak, as you say. So in an office, if there, for example, there is this boss and a set of colleagues you're working with, then usually the interaction is multi-dimensional. If it is a, again depends upon if it is a close-knit team where everybody is depending on everybody, then the emotional waves flow multi-directional. Whereas in some structures where it is not so teamwork, it's more about individuals performing well, then it's only one way, that is between emotions flow from the person to manager, manager to person. If manager is able to filter those emotions, not let it affect them, then the team works well. But if manager gets affected, then the whole team gets affected, right? And even the situation where it is very close-knit team also, manager usually has a lot of influence on how to address the issues that are happening. If someone is upset, manager can actually address it by being compassionate or by giving them leave or whatever, because manager knows what happens if that emotion gets into the rest of the team. So manager has a lot of leeway about how to address these things. In some organizations that is not given, they have to follow the rule book. And some managers are rule book managers where they don't understand all these things, they simply follow rule. Depending on different management styles, depending on different types of team, then the person may, the emotions filter out. But the point is again, what do I want to do with this? This is a fact of the workspace. Sometimes manager is pissed, sometimes someone else is upset, someone is facing some difficulty and workload comes on me and I have to do, and I have my own problems. So what exactly is happening here? This is all reality.
Right.
But the question is, what's happening inside me, despite all this reality? Like you started with the example that my emotions, not even others' emotions, my own problems is affecting the team, because you feel responsible. That is who you are. And because you feel responsible, you are thinking about my emotions should not affect the team. Right? But the dynamics don't work that way, in the sense that team only grows together because of emotions. If you remove emotions from the equation, it's only a husk. Everybody following something that is supposed to be good. Nobody knows what is really good. How do you know if something is really good or not? From emotions.
Right.
If you stop sharing emotions, what happens? You are generally thinking that this is supposed to be good. But is it really good? How will you know? You won't. The key to something being good or bad comes from emotions. If we are not emotionally available to ourselves, we cannot be emotionally available to the team. If we are not emotionally available to the team, then we can't bond with the team properly. We can only bond with the team to the extent that we are emotionally available. And that is something that we need to check. If we have 100 problems, what problems can I set before the team? I am a professional, right? What emotions should I express and what should I not? Do I have an option? If I have so many emotional blocks and all emotions are competing to be expressed and ready to explode, do I have an option? I really don't have an option. Whatever emotion gets exploded and comes out, it comes out. And rest of the time I clamp tight. I don't express anything. Because the moment I start expressing, it will get triggered.
And with the thought that it might trigger the team as well.
We just suppress it.
Yes.
Because we are suppressing it, the next time it explodes, more intense. Right? So the whole thing again comes at that in a teamwork, in professionally, we try to ignore emotions, put emotions aside, because profession is not a place where you address emotions. Profession is a place where you perform something to get money, earn money. But that's not the reality. You are not separate from your emotions. You can't keep on suppressing and be expected to perform well. That is why a lot of companies have policies that are trying to take care of emotional wellness of the person, of their employees. If people are more connected and have more emotional space, if they don't have to suppress so many emotions, then probably the team will work better, and it does work better. And once the bonding happens, the sharing at emotional levels increases, the kind of support they show each other, the kind of trust they show with each other, everything improves. So the point again is, how do we create enough space in ourselves to be emotionally available, to the extent that we bond better, to create more space within the team for emotional availability of everybody. Some people might not be suitable for emotional availability because they are not available. Can we accept that? Some people are overly emotionally available to the extent that we get turned off.
Right.
That also happens. But these are the imbalances that are present. These are the realities.
Right.
And these needs to be addressed in a very compassionate manner. The more compassion and tolerance we have, we'll be able to better address these things. So it's not like there is a single solution that will fit anywhere. It's like each person taking responsibility for their own emotional well-being, and the company having the workplace having the culture of maintaining emotional wellness of the team with different activities usually promotes it. But individually, I would say that it's our responsibility to create enough space inside us to be emotionally available. Not in the emotional availability of pushing our emotions on others, but to be emotionally available enough to trust and create a bond and build a relationship with the team.
Wonderful.
That much availability is our responsibility.
Wonderful. One more thing that is coming to my mind here is, like we have two persons in a team. Both are working for the same team. And there's a I mean, this is I just suppose there's a person who tries to exceed the targets by suppressing others, and there are others who want to grow together. How do we deal in such a situation?
So how are you dealing it?
I don't have that.
No, have you dealt
situation.
with it?
I haven't, experienced this. of course.
Unless you experience
But
it, you won't be able to.
There
get to
might
that
be
point.
some cases, such cases.
No, have you seen?
It is
such
for my viewers, of course. Maybe some one of them.
No, you are taking a very specific case. There are hundreds of different cases possible. This seems,
It just came to my mind.
but
Since
why is
you
it
were
so?
discussing that there should be harmony in team.
Yes, but why is it so important to you?
For me, it's important for the team, of course.
Sometimes you have come across such a situation.
I haven't
because
come
of
across.
that
Even if you have not
satisfaction.
come across, let's assume that create a situation where you come across this
Okay.
mentally
Okay.
and explain the situation.
Okay. I'm trying my best for whole team, and there's one person. They are trying to suppress or do something which is not good for the team. Now I want to address that. That's my point.
Okay. So, what are the challenges that you see in addressing it?
Challenges as in I'm trying my best, but they are not accepting it. That's a challenge.
Why do you think they are not accepting?
So I have to find out that. That's what I want to know.
Right? Are you being compassionate to yourself?
Of course, I'm compassionate.
Is it hurting you that the other person is damaging the team?
It's not hurting me personally, but of course, professionally, it's hurting us. Everybody.
No,
It's
so
hurting everybody.
It's hurting, right?
Yes.
Acknowledge that it's hurting you.
Yeah, it is hurting everybody.
So
Not
then
just
you are
me.
being violent to yourself.
Not violent. I wasn't angry about it, but I want to address it. I'm being mindful.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because if you are mindful, then you would already know the answer. There won't be a question.
Mindful as in I care for my team. I care for that person also. I want to address it somehow.
No, but do you care for
What's
yourself?
the way? I do care, of course. That's
So
why I'm curious.
when you are caring for yourself and you feel the team is being hurt, so what is the emotion that is getting created inside you?
Emotion is I want to grow my team.
Emotion.
No emotions. As I said, I want to
So
fix
you are
the
not emotionally available.
I might be available, depends.
I'm
But
asking
my
the-
point is how to deal with that person.
But
No.
something is triggering. So what is that emotion?
what's actually happening inside
What
you.
are you?
If there is no emotion, there is no question and no answer.
Emotion is there that my team should grow. We are in a
No,
team.
that is more motivation rather than emotion.
Okay, let's
The
say
question,
motivation.
emotion comes is there is a motivation, strong motivation to grow the team, and someone is sabotaging it, right?
Right.
Now, how do you feel about it?
I want to address it.
And the question is, how do you feel about it? If you don't know what you are
I feel
feeling,
curious about it.
Huh?
I feel curious and I want to address it.
so if you are curious, observe. Really look at that situation and observe what's happening really. Why is it happening? Tell me, why is it happening?
I had to address, I had to find out why that
Yes.
person is creating that
Yes.
trouble. Yeah.
Be curious,
Hmm.
find out and tell me.
Okay, I'll ask that person.
See, the point is the whole thing hinges on emotions. You can't separate emotion from a situation and ask me to answer it. There's no answer to that. So that's why I asked you all this, because unless you have emotion connected to it, you are not emotionally available to that situation. So you can't resolve it. If you are emotionally connected, then we can figure out what is blocking you and what will aid you. Then you can be compassionate to yourself and others and actually resolve it. But if you are not even acknowledging your own emotions about it, then there is no solution for you. First, you have to be sensitive to yourself. You have to be kind to yourself to acknowledge the emotions, which is not happening. That is the biggest problem here. Most of the people don't acknowledge the emotions. They feel that emotions are bad.
I'm not saying bad or good.
No, that is the judgment that is there. So the moment I ask you about emotions, you are confused and you say something else, that
I'm
whatever
not
comes to
confused,
mind,
of course.
rather than
I
actually
still-
checking the emotion and telling, because you don't want to feel the emotion, because it's uncomfortable. That is the reality. That is your emotional block. If you can't even acknowledge your own emotion, you are blocking your emotions. You somewhere feel that being emotional is bad.
No, I didn't say that.
No, it's a feeling inside you. That's why you're not able to connect with your emotions. Otherwise, if you took a very good example and you are very passionate about explaining it, the moment I asked you about emotion, the emotion is missing. Is it there?
I don't think so. Emotion is
He's
not required here.
Being passionate, do you think emotion can be absent? With the kind of passion he said? There is emotion, there's a lot of emotion. But is he able to acknowledge? No.
Not at this moment.
No,
Not at this
I
moment.
didn't say emotion is there or not, but my point is like there's a
It's
issue.
not about you
There's a
saying it or
trouble.
not. It's about you. When I ask you about emotion, you are not able to find your emotion. You are not being present to your emotions. It's not that emotion is not there. Your acknowledgement is missing. You are not able to recognize your emotion.
He knows it, but maybe at the present moment.
At the present, he is
able
not
to
No, my
express
focus is on solving the problem.
That's what, even my focus is on that. The point is that the solution lies in your emotions, which you are not ready to address right now.
How do I address that then?
So first you have to become comfortable with expressing emotions. Acknowledging that I am feeling this way about this. When I am passionate, there is an emotion. There is a lot of energy there. You have passion, so there is a lot of energy. The point comes is the moment you want to look at that energy, you are turning somewhere else and trying to be good. Don't try to be good. It's not about being good or bad. It's not trying to look nice or otherwise.
Yeah, of course.
This is about knowing what you are actually feeling. So when passion comes and the emotion is missing, somewhere you are blocking that passion, right? When you passionately put a question and I ask you emotion is not there, somewhere you are blocking it.
Maybe, but I was more focused on the solution.
You can justify it, that's okay. But acknowledge it. It's okay to say, if you don't want to address an emotion, say, acknowledge that at this point of time I am not okay with addressing that emotion. For whatever reason, that's fine. But to actually find a solution, you need to acknowledge emotion. Otherwise, there is no solution.
Right. I think this discussion will be a very long discussion.
But know that every actual solution lies in emotions. If you want to be compassionate to others, you are saying that I understand your emotion, right? If I am not expressive about my emotions, about my passions and everything, then I am not able to connect with the person at that level.
Right.
So you might be able to connect very well with passions of other person, but when it comes to emotions, that connect will be missing. So you'll be able to solve things with passion, but when the moment it comes about emotional conflict, you will find yourself handicapped. Do you see that in yourself?
I haven't come across such a situation, but hypothetically.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
If someone is confronting you with something, they are very angry, how will you address it?
I'll keep calm.
How did you address it?
I'll keep calm.
I'm asking, how do you address that situation?
I'll keep calm. It will be addressed automatically.
Okay.
Let
so
them calm down, then we'll discuss.
if they are projecting it on something else and again they are angry.
I'll take some more time. I'll give them
Exactly.
time. Yeah.
So you are a person who will let things resolve themselves, not actually resolve them.
No, of course, there will be a right time to discuss the things. If he's angry, he's not in a state to understand. He's not able to receive
Not
things.
necessarily. You can actually connect with the angry person also by being compassionate. It's not that I'm saying that you have to speak and say it immediately, but you don't have to wait years together for that anger to come down.
Yeah, of course, no one will wait for years.
Oh, but you'll have to wait sometimes.
Well, depends on the situation.
Depends
of
on the
course, yeah.
situation, yeah. But the point I'm saying is, usually to address someone is angry, if I'm kind enough and compassionate enough, even acknowledging that they are angry.
Yeah, that I do, of course.
So if I acknowledge that, oh, you are angry because of this, if I say, then automatically the person calms down.
Yeah, that works well. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
If I don't say anything and just wait for the person's anger to come down, it may take very long time.
No, I'm not keeping. I'm pretty silent. That doesn't. Silence means a total silence. Of course, I let them. Bring
You'll
out the
wait them.
emotions. Of course, bring out the anger,
So
and
Sorry
then
to interrupt,
when the
but-
time is
Yeah.
right.
I think that this conversation will go on and we need another episode to
Further.
discuss all of these
Right,
matters.
right.
Yes, sure.
But time won't be sufficient today. So we'll just wrap up the episode.
All right, we'll wrap this up, but with a hope
This
that
conversation will go
this will
on.
continue.
Yeah.
This is going to continue. Of course.
That's
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for watching this episode. This is Idris signing off along with my colleague.
Ayushi, and I hope that this episode, all these topics help all the audience.
And
So keep watching PMC English for more updates.
thank you so much for watching this, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thank you.